This was the moment caught on amateur video cameras at 6:07 a.m. local time in Crimea, purportedly showing a cargo truck exploding on the motorway parallel to the Kerch bridge. The blast was so huge, flames and debris crossed to the other lane and reached a fuel cargo train that was passing by. Russia's government was quick to respond. The Speaker of the State Duma described the incident as a terrorist attack and an act of war on Russia. President Vladimir Putin has ordered an investigation committee be set up to find out who's behind it and how it happened. The Kerch Bridge, also called the Crimea Bridge, is one of Russia's most vital supply lines and its only land link with the Crimean Peninsula. It was opened by Vladimir Putin in 2018, 4 years after Russia annexed the Crimean territory from Ukraine. The explosion caused 2 sections of the bridge to collapse and several train carriages caught fire. Traffic on the entire bridge came to a standstill. The sea-ferrying arch under the bridge was not affected, but this will likely pose several challenges for Russia's capabilities to supply its troops and other administrative operations in Crimea. In another statement he actually gave in July, he said that if this bridge or if Crimea is hit, that will bring the day of judgment to Ukraine. So I mean, this is an example of what's being said here in Moscow, and also as I mentioned earlier, the Speaker of the State Duma, he said this is an act of war and it is a terrorist act against Russia. This bridge is very strategic for Russia. It's sealed its efforts to integrate Crimea. It was built during the last few years after the annexation of Crimea by the Russian Federation. So it is considered really a dangerous target to be hit. And of course, they accuse Ukrainians of being behind it. The troops in the field there in what Russia calls the special military operation in Ukraine. So Russia is trying to do what it can to show that it has the means to defend itself and also to secure those territories that it has occupied inside Ukraine. Which is the beginning, that everything illegal must be destroyed, everything stolen must be returned to Ukraine, everything occupied by Russia must be expelled. With more humorous, meme-based content, the Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine posted a tweet which had the burning bridge on one side of the screen and Marilyn Monroe singing "Happy Birthday, Mr. President" on the other side. Of course, Friday was Vladimir Putin, the Russian president's 70th birthday. The Russians are saying, the Ministry of Transport, that they think that this is going to be fixed pretty soon, that road traffic is already moving on the bridge, and that the rail side of the bridge will be functional from this evening. Now, I have to say, that's ambitious. I would not want to be the first motorist driving across that bridge, nor the first person on a train going across it either. But if it does take a while for them to fix it, then it will be a huge logistical headache for them to supply their troops in the south of Ukraine. It will make that war effort very difficult indeed. It's also a huge prestige blow to the Russians. This bridge was seen as a kind of cord that stitched Crimea and the Russian mainland